I open on a cracked doorknob and a squeaky hinge because today I am comparing a $1 apartment to a $500 million luxury apartment and putting them through the most ridiculous comfort and security tests on the internet, while my friends Chandler, Chris, and Carl try to survive each place for 10 minutes without complaining. The rules are simple. Each apartment gets a comfort test, a safety test, a food test, and a fun test. If an apartment passes all 4 tests, it gets a Beast badge. The first apartment is literally $1 and it already smells like the inside of a busted vending machine. We step into the $1 apartment, and it is basically a sad little square inside a converted storage building with a flickering bulb, a mattress that looks like it fought a raccoon and lost, and a sink that screams when you turn it on. I toss my backpack down, and it kicks up a dust cloud like it has been waiting for a Western duel. Comfort test. Chris lies on the mattress and immediately sinks to the plywood. Fail. Safety test. I push the door closed and the entire frame wiggles. Carl coughs and points at a gap big enough to pass a pizza through. Fail. Food test. There is a hot plate and a single dented pan. Chandler tries to boil water and trips the breaker for the whole unit. Big fail. Fun test. I say we can hang a poster. The tape does not even stick. This place is the definition of inadequate. We last 3 minutes and sprint out before the bulb decides to retire. Jump cut to $1 million apartment in a downtown high-rise, and the elevator opens to a private vestibule with a door so thick it looks like it belongs on a bank vault. I make Chandler try to shoulder check it, and the door laughs at him. Inside, the floors float on rubber isolators, so the entire space is quiet even with traffic below. We've got a chef's kitchen, an entertainment lounge, and a little LED cove that turns the whole living room into a club. Comfort test. The couch eats Carl in the best way. Pass. Safety test. The reinforced door plus a discreet safe room hidden behind a bookshelf win a pass. Food test. I set a timer and we cook steaks and truffle fries while Chris runs the blender trying to break the serenity and the place barely hums. Pass. Fun test. I flip a switch and a projector drops from the ceiling while the blinds cascade down. We put on a movie and the sound floats off the suspended floor. Pass. Then I pull the guys to a locked hallway and reveal a secret section built inside the mechanical core with a concrete shell where the owner keeps a private gallery and a bunkerish pantry. The jump from $1 to $1 million feels like crossing realities. Now we head to a $3 million smart penthouse built by an eccentric inventor who turned his apartment into a maze of clever defenses and wacky ideas. The main living area sits behind a meter-thick acoustic wall with ballistic film on the glass and a panic room disguised as a linen closet. The hallway ceiling hides a grid of sensors that tell the system to seal or open pocket doors. Comfort test. Heated stone floors in the bathrooms and beds that tilt you into zero-gravity mode. Pass. Safety test. The entry corridor is a dogleg with mirrored corners so you can never see straight in, and there's a fire-rated hatch to the stair core. Pass. Food test. The kitchen has a robotic pantry that shuttles ingredients to the island through pneumatic tubes. We send a lime and the system shoots it across the apartment into a juicer. Pass. Fun test. The owner built a multi-purpose maker wall with drone charging docks, a vacuum chute that slurps crumbs off the counters, and a balcony rig that lowers a hammock from the soffit. Carl finds a button that deploys a racing simulator from under the floor, and Chandler screams like he just won a roller coaster. Big pass. This place is a museum of harmless madness and extremely personal security. For $5 million, we go historical. We walk into a preserved presidential suite that once hosted a world leader, and it feels like stepping into a time capsule. The woodwork creaks, the wallpaper is sun-kissed, and the views are timeless. Comfort test. The sofas are classic and a little stiff. Half pass. Safety test. It is secure because the building is guarded, and the suite has discreet doors, but compared to modern steel and sensors, it shows its age. Half pass. Food test. Silver cloches and an old bell for room service score points, but the kitchen is tiny. Half pass. Fun test. The history here is the entertainment. We find a framed letter and a hidden radio cabinet, and everyone goes quiet for a beat, because the weight of the stories is heavy. It is expensive because of significance, not gadgets, and that contrast is the point. At 30 million, we tour a sky compound designed to feel like a self-sufficient mini-city for 75 residents. The arrival door is armor-plated, the lobby has a scanner, and a concierge team operates like mission control. The amenities list reads like a theme park. There is a wellness clinic with exam rooms and dental chairs, a pharmacy for residents, a secure holding room for building security, a training simulator instead of a shooting range, and 15 private apartments on stacked levels connected by a residents-only atrium. Comfort test. In apartment number 1, the air is perfect and the materials are ridiculous. Pass. Safety test. Redundant power water filtration and a safe stair that is pressurized. Pass. Food test. We push a cart through the resident grocery stocked with shelf-stable goods in a glass room full of hydroponic greens that grow lettuce under pink lights, so theoretically, you could have infinite salads. Pass. Fun test. We time the boys through the lap pool, the climbing wall, and the gym, and they collapse on a lounge deck overlooking the city. This place is built for long-term living without needing to leave. Now we take it to 50 million. And the elevator rises into a penthouse designed to trick your brain into thinking you are outdoors even when the world is locked down. The front door opens to artificial grass, a grove of indoor palms and sky windows that simulate sunrise clouds and stars on command. Along one wall is a street facade with faux shop windows hiding storage and a soundscape system that plays distant waves or birds. Comfort test. A circadian lighting schedule and fresh air delivered through concealed diffusers make everyone instantly chill. Pass safety test. The residence core is wrapped in concrete and the elevator has an independent generator, so even if the grid fails, the home remains serene. Pass. Food test. A full show kitchen connects to a catering galley and a cold pantry, and we make pizza while the sky slowly fades to sunset. Pass. Fun test. There is a private pool with an edge that spills into a koi pond, a projection cave that makes you feel like you are on a beach, and a secret escape game built into hidden panels that reveal a secondary exit when you solve a sequence. Carl solves it accidentally by sneezing twice and stepping on a tile, and the wall slides open. Pass. We save the $500 million crown jewel for last, and it is less of an apartment and more of a fortress in the sky integrated into the most over-engineered residential structure on Earth. We roll up to a blast-resistant lobby, where a door the size of a semi-truck glides on hydraulic pins. Beyond that, the residence core sits inside a cradle of seismic isolation bearings, so the entire space literally floats to soak up wind and earthquakes. The exterior glass is laminated with multiple interlayers, and the columns anchor into bedrock so deep it feels like living on a mountain of granite. We ride a private funicular up the spine of the building and step into the command gallery, where the owner can monitor building systems, water reserves, air quality, and private communications with redundant satellites. Comfort test. There are 3 living wings with their own spas, a thermal suite that cycles you from snow room to hammam to sauna, and beds that measure your sleep and correct the climate around you. Pass. Safety test. Multiple pressure-rated doors, a hardened stair shaft, a helipad, and a protected court, and a secure vehicle tunnel 2 floors down so service teams can drive inside without ever exposing the residents. Pass. Food test. A full commercial kitchen backed by a cold room and a dry store, plus a resident market and an indoor orchard using high-ceiling grow towers that pump out herbs, citrus, and greens. We pick oranges and juice them in front of a wall of living basil like it is normal. Pass. Fun test. There is a suspended lap pool that peeks through a glass oculus into the living room, a 2-lane bowling alley, a golf simulator, a recording studio, and a gym that wraps around a shock-absorbing track with a view of the clouds. I challenge the boys to run a lap while I bowl a strike and eat a fresh orange. Pass and pass. To make it fair, we stress every apartment the same way. We trigger a simulated power outage in the $1 apartment, and our light dies immediately. At the $1 million place, the generator hums on like nothing happened. At 3 million, the panels reroute power. At 30 million, the microgrid barely blinks. At 50 million, the sunset keeps rolling across the fake sky like the universe is on our side. At 500 million, a control screen shows redundancies kicking in and the air remains perfect. Then we run a comfort gauntlet. We measure noise at midnight. The $1 apartment sounds like a highway inside a tin can. The $1 million place reads library quiet. The penthouse inventor pad crushes it. The 30 million compound feels like a monastery.
The 50 million nature ceiling makes everyone sleepy. The 500 million fortress drops the decibel meter into whisper territory while a tuned mass damper above us sways like a giant silent pendulum, keeping everything still.
I always end with generosity, so we invite building staff across the day to participate in mini challenges. In the $1 spot, we tip the maintenance crew and pay to replace the bulb and outlets. In the $1 million apartment, I give the concierge $5,000 to fund a tenant charity drive. In the Inventor penthouse, the owner lets us donate to a makerspace for kids. In the presidential suite, we buy dinner for the entire housekeeping team with a thank you note. In the 30 million compound, we stock the resident market with a month of groceries for families in need. In the 50 million biophilic penthouse, we sponsor an urban garden program. And at the 500 million fortress, I write a check to fund emergency housing for those experiencing homelessness, because comparing apartments only matters if we remember people without any. Now it is time to crown a winner. The $1 apartment was a disaster, but a reminder of how thin the line is between shelter and none. The $1 million apartment proved the jump from basic to secure and comfortable is massive. The 3 million Inventor pad showed how personal engineering can make a home feel like a safe spaceship. The presidential suite taught us that price can come from history, not hardware. The 30 million sky compound felt like a city designed to function forever. The 50 million nature penthouse kept our brains sane when the world outside might not be. And the 500 million fortress in the sky was the pinnacle of protection, comfort, and self-sufficiency. I hand out beast badges, and the only place to sweep all 4 tests at the highest level is the $500 million apartment, which means it is the most insane home we have ever set foot in. I turn back to camera. If you made it this far, subscribe, because I am going to put a $1 apartment and a $500 million apartment head-to-head again. But next time, we bring my subscribers to spend the night in both. And whoever lasts the longest in the cheapest place wins $10,000 and a year of rent paid. We shut the heavy door one last time, the isolation bearings breathe, and the city goes quiet. That is $1 versus 500 million, and I will see you in the next video.